Hi, everyone. So, we are in another night of live tarot readings. And forgive the background, I had to really quickly change up where I was setting up at tonight. Kids needed a little extra room around the house to be able to, be themselves. But here we are, right? But anyway, you're here for the lives. So, offerings tonight are my mixed oracle deck of Moonology and Shapeshifters. We've also got usually I only use these for self-care Saturday, but something told me someone might need my goddess deck tonight. Both of those are excellent for single card or slightly more in-depth readings if you're kind of feeling more oracly instead of course, tarot. And much like last time, and I'm putting that in the comments now, make sure that we keep it within reason because, YouTube has their own rules. All right, and make sure. All right. Looks good. All right, so to get your reading nights, as you can see in the comments, single card is $5. 10-minute readings are $15. Payable CashApp or Venmo, smcrigger. You'll be able to see it on the thing. And to get in the queue, make sure that you send in that amount to there. And then when you're over here, put paid and then whether you used Cash App or Venmo. And my Patreon members, don't forget your cute little code for a discounted reading in the Patreon feed. Single card, I believe I put $2, and for the 10 minutes, I put it at $5. So help me help you get points for being so awesome and supporting me. Ugh. Don't mind me, it's been a bit of a day, so I need to stretch out a little. Loosey goosey the muscles. But it is now about 6 p.m. my time. And it looks like we've got everything pretty well set up, all things considered. Ugh. I will apologize for the chimes that are about to be going off soon, though. I do live fairly close to a church, and between the hour and up to 10 after, they start chiming the hour, and gods know their own magical system. But while we're waiting on people who need some guidance, why not do a couple collectives? And if you happen to join in and would like a reading, definitely feel free to pop in and let me know because, hey, that's why we're here, right? And if this is your first time joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. I do offer collective readings every day in the mornings. If it's Mondays for your spirit guides, Wednesday like today's midweek momentum. And in the evenings, unfortunately, this evening I'll be skipping because today it was itself. I'll be skipping an evening video tonight, but typically evenings include either teachings or rituals or collective readings for everyone. And this month we're actually working on self-care and healthy relationships. So if you would like to make your relationship a little healthier, even if it's already in a great place, it doesn't hurt to, put icing on the cake. Definitely feel free to check those out. I actually had someone leave a wonderful comment for me to wake up to this morning, letting me know how much I believe it was the Ace of Cups teaching and meditation that they said really helped him out. So that was honestly a great high point in my day. But for a collective, you know what? Just for giggly giggles, for the fifth person to join the live or the fifth person to watch the replay, because, hey, gotta direct it somewhere. Let's see what's going on in your relationship and how you can potentially put it on a better note if it needs it. Or keep the momentum going if it ends up being great. Let's check it out. And how to fix. All right, so got a little bit of a story for you, fifth person joining and or fifth person watching the replay. It looks like things are not so awesome in your relationship right now. No judgment at all, but it looks like it might be a money issue or a management issue. Is there a possibility that you're over managing or maybe not pitching in enough to, keep the house clean? Have you been kind of letting your partner do most of the work? Hey, I get it. We all get a little stressed out, but let's see. Oh, yep. These two right here, I didn't even actually glance at them. I went purely off of what was going on with this card. But to help things get a little better, we have a reverse 3 of coins and a reverse 6 of coins. So this is definitely telling me that this is not just a shared responsibilities around the house issue, but a money issue on an extreme level as well. Because that is a lot of coins, my friend. A lot of coins. So what's going on is definitely with this one right here, that's telling me that you may be experiencing a lot of teamwork issues, whether this is cleaning up around the house or sharing the bills and making sure that you're both contributing. And this right here is telling me that it's also most definitely a bills problem. What's going on, dude? Fifth person joining the live or fifth person watching the replay. My friend, definitely start addressing those issues. And please, by all means, link in the bio on how to set up a private one-on-one if you'd rather that as well. But again, anyone joining, single card readings are $5 and $15 for 10-minute readings. But if you are doing the love readings I've been mentioning in my past videos for this week only, I said it was $20 for half an hour. Definitely hit me up in the scheduling because that ends 9 p.m. Friday night. But if you'd like to catch one in the live right now, I'll make it $10 for 10 minutes for any love readings. This is whether you're a couple or a love seeker because, hey, you both deserve a little love, right? Oh, and in some past videos, because I mentioned how for the month of February, we're working on self-love and healthy relationships. Last month, the theme was making you be your best self for the whole of 2026 because, yeah, you make your resolutions, but it's so much more than just doing better on budgeting or making sure that you take the family on a vacation or what's another common one? Losing weight. All of those are beautiful and wonderful resolutions, but you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself to make sure you've got the motivation and momentum to knock out those resolutions. And I did a very similar thing for December on helping you be your best, get ready to be your best for 2026. Both of those have all sorts of lessons and meditations and a few spells and recipes on things to be your best. Whether this is a self-blessing oil, or I'm pretty sure I even did a few things on how to let go, excuse me, on how to let go of previous feels from the last year, because let's face it, things linger, and all of those can also be modified for letting go of a certain personality trait or whatever you might need to let go of. And my dailies are typically single card readings. Wednesdays I give a little extra, but as I mentioned, Mondays were how to connect better with your spirit guides. Tuesdays I do a single card pull for career and money. Wednesdays, keep the momentum and keep things rocking on. Thursdays, tomorrow, I actually pull on how to change your luck for the better. Fridays are the love day. Pull a card to help either boost your relationship or for love seekers, if that happens to be something that these guys are really screaming at me for, how to make yourself able to find that aligned, beautiful love that we're all looking for. Saturday is self-care Saturday, where I actually take a break from tarot and actually use my goddess deck to help you figure out a way to sneak a little extra self-care into your day. And Sunday evenings, I actually pull a card for the week's energy. But I've been kicking around the idea of actually pulling out my Lenormand a little more often, because I don't get to play with those nearly often enough. But there's actually a Lenormand spread that is excellent for kind of a week ahead preview, where you see what's going to be mostly affecting you and what it's going to teach you. Because while getting an idea of where to go and what to do is great, the thing I want to do is help you be your best self. And we can't be our best unless we learn. Yeah, you can probably guess that my sun sign's a Sagittarius, the eternal student. I can't help myself. And actually, if you guys need a great astrology lady, I definitely highly recommend a lady named Patricia Tate. Her channel is Willow Mystic Grace, and it is hilarious how often my tarot readings actually coincide with her astrology readings. Hilarious. Let me tell you, the universe will let you know what's going on one way or another. I'm pretty sure I got these pretty well loosey-gooseyed. Let's grab the goddess deck and get that a little loosened up. But just as a quick reminder, I will be live until 7 p.m. So that's going to be in a little less than an hour. So if you're just joining, welcome, welcome. And the way to get into the reading queue is in the comments. And my goodness. Definitely no more snacking on cheese before lives. I always forget how bad that coats my throat. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, for those of you in the state of Ohio, I am happy to say I have all sorts of events going on. One this weekend, and then a whole list of them starting next month. This weekend, I'll be at the Full Moon and Crow in Logan, Ohio. Beautiful little shop, and even more delightful owner that comes with it, where I'll be offering couples and love seeker readings there. and they'll be all in person. And I highly recommend, if you're able to make it happen, set up an appointment, because walk-ins, you might end up being there a lot longer than you anticipated, which, hey, definitely helps out with seeing all of the amazing things at that shop. But with it also being Valentine's Day, let's face it, we all are going to be having all sorts of dinner plans, date plans for that evening. And hey, you want to make sure you're ready for the date, right? But fast forward to March, I will be at the Hen Mansion in Euclid, Ohio. I want to say that was on the 28th. But next month is also when I'll be starting tarot classes at the Full Moon and Crow. And all of these dates can be found on my Facebook or my Instagram, whichever you like to use. And I do plan on making a live and more than likely constantly being updated post on my Patreon, which, if you haven't joined, highly recommend doing so, because as I mentioned earlier in the live, Patreon members actually get a crazy discount on my lives. And bonus, every month, depending on the tier, you get a full half-hour reading, if you're at the lowest tier, of what your month will look like. And I give all sorts of cute little gifts with it. But you will also get early access to many of my videos, a lot of say in what some future videos are, because, hey, I've got a lot of knowledge in this head. It's got to go somewhere. It might as well go to you guys. But the coolest part about Patreon members is quite literally everything that I get from my Patreon goes directly to actually just growing the YouTube channel and growing in general, so that I can be as accessible with my readings to as many people as possible. Because, hey, let's look at the world we're in, right? But Patreon tiers start at $5 a month, and I believe I had the cap off at 20 or 25. So something to heavily consider, because, hey, you also get a few extra readings throughout the entire month. And with my typical readings going for 25 for 15 minutes or 40 for half an hour, something to consider. But just a quick reminder, offerings tonight are my mixed oracle deck of Moonology and Shapeshifter, my Goddess Oracle deck, and naturally, Tarot. All right, so we had 2 people here for a hot minute. I wonder if we're going to get to our 5th person joining, or the 5th person to watch the replay first. I am very curious. All right. You know what? Let's do a goddess guidance for those of you with your moon sign. And if you don't know your moon sign, highly recommend finding that one out, because that's actually how you process your emotions. Your sun sign is literally like a tiny building block of your entire personality. But if your moon sign is in okay, so swords typically associates with the element of air. So if your moon sign is in, you know what, we'll say Gemini. If your moon sign is in Gemini, let's see what you need to do to encourage a little better self-care in your life with the goddesses. All right. So, my dear Moon and Gemini friend, you have an upright Echel, and typically her message is you are a channel for divine healing power. You also have an upright Bridget. Her message is stand up for what you believe is right. And we also have a reverse Mary Magdalene. And typically her message would be love yourself, others, and every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. So with her being in reverse, and I'll get to these ladies here in just a second, but with our reverse Mary Magdalene, that is telling me that you have a lot of negative emotions built up, and no judgment, but what is making you disappointed or just disgusted with everything in your life? Is it work? Is it family? All the above? I get it, friend. I get it. But my Moon and Gemini friend, you're able to change it. You're able to step in and make things go the way that you want them to go because you have Echel and Bridget both talking to you right now. Echel is saying you're divine, are a channel for divine healing power, and stand up for what you believe is right. So if you're feeling what I'm guessing is grossly repressed and that you don't have a voice in your area, yes, you do. You have a voice and you need to start using it. And once you do, my fair Moon and Gemini friend, this is going to turn into this. You're going to start loving your world again. And how does that all fit in with your self-care? Can you really say that you feel great, that you feel like you're in a good place if you are constantly feeling like nothing is awesome and nothing is even tolerable? The best thing you can sometimes do for your self-care is remember your own personal power. And that alone will help the stress start to lift. The weight just finally get off of your chest. Help me out, my Moon and Gemini friend, and start stepping back into your power. But since I've thrown a couple of people under the bus, sorry, hiccups. Always show up when you least really want them to, am I right? But as I mentioned, since I've thrown myself under the bus a few times, let's throw me under there real quick, yeah? I would definitely go tarot, but I don't have my personal deck with me, and I have found that my Disney villain deck that we all love, you know you guys get a kick out of seeing in my collectives, but that little guy gets a little funky with me whenever I try and do readings on myself unless I'm including either how to improve my relationship with my children or doing a reading on me and a friend if there's something going on there. That's the closest I seem to be able to use it for, is when I'm adding an outside person in the reading. But even then, I actually prefer my personal deck just because it gives me the kick I need, whereas the Disney villain deck, the message seems to get a little muddled. Go figure. Of course, I'm not going to lie, that's actually something that I go over in my tarot classes that I mentioned I'm going to be doing in Logan, because I'm going to be teaching not just about the cards themselves and how to read them upright and reverse and using them in a spread, but I'm also going to explain why you frequently see card readers have multiple different decks, not just multiple different oracle decks like how these guys are, but also multiple different tarot decks. Believe it or not, but very frequently, a deck will tell you what its purpose is. With my goddess cards, it's all about self care. For whatever reason, it just screams, I am a self care deck. When it comes to my mixed oracle deck, and these guys ended up just working really great together all the time, which is why they ended up being mixed together. But I found that they're definitely great for practical questions or even a quick single card help me brainstorm something on a situation. And my tarot deck, I found, just works great with reading for others, giving them the guidance that they need. It's almost like having a whole bunch of assistants in one to help you out with the paperwork or the project. I mean, I've even got a tarot deck that I quite literally strictly use to speak with my ancestors that a friend of mine gave me. And yet another tarot deck that I found that part of it works very well with my bamboo readings, which I'm really hoping to very soon get a setup going on so that I can start offering those during my lives. Because if you haven't seen my bamboo reading, check out the month reading I did for February towards the end of January. It'll definitely be in a previous feed. Just look, search bamboo reading in the channel. It should pop right up. But those lovely guys are a great map for how to start very purposely and intentionally directing your energy to start finding balance in your life. But as far as throwing myself under the bus, because I can't call you guys out without, returning the favor. Let's see. I mentioned resolutions earlier. So let's see how these guys can't help me figure out my resolutions and getting them back on track, because I'm not going to lie, they're starting to get a little... Well, that was easy. So I've got a reverse owlin. Typically the message will be wisdom as light as a feather. And I've also got a new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on my side. So what this is telling me is that, quite honestly, I'm having a hard time learning my lessons. Instead of constantly looking inside for those answers, I need to start actually bringing the problem to somebody else. And considering the massive amount of resolutioning I decided to do for myself, because, I don't have enough things going on, yeah, it might not be the worst idea. But with luck being on my side, that tells me that whether I choose to actually go looking for assistance in this, or if I choose to keep on banging my head against the wall because stubborn, I blame my moon in Taurus and 9 points in Capricorn in my birth chart. Stubbornness might be an issue, but at least I know that good, bad, or indifferent, things will still happen. All right. Oh, and for those of you watching the replay or joining, I do apologize for the quality. Unfortunately, because of YouTube standards, I have to have a few more subscribers before I can just use my phone, which has the way better camera. So if you're enjoying my collective readings and enjoying my lives, definitely please swing over there and subscribe to the channel so that we can have a better view and actually probably even see my cards far more clearly. And I'll also be able to say howdy to you guys and maybe even actually be able to show you my bamboo readings and other different spreads as they are able to have a slightly better than me moving around my computer. But as a reminder, don't forget to get into the reading queue. Check out the comment section for all of the steps. All right, it's about 6:30, so I'm not gonna lie, with how quiet it's been tonight, I'll probably be sticking around for another 15 or so minutes. Then I'll be jumping off here because, hey, a mompreneur is her job's never done. Let's face it. And for my fellow mompreneurs, go you for everything you do. Knowing everything on my to-do list on an everyday basis. Every day. That's not including the monthly and weekly stuff. But you guys don't get enough credit, and each and every single one of you is an empress. And for my dadpreneurs, I'm not forgetting you guys either. You guys do a lot of work too. If, like my fellow mompreneurs, you're trying to run a business, keep the house going, pretend that you're actually succeeding somewhere in parenting. I get it. But for both my mom and dadpreneurs, if no one else says you're doing a great job, I want you to take a look around and say, yes, yes, I am. And actually, you know what? For my fellow mom and dadpreneurs, let's do a quick card reading to see how you can't balance your work and personal life a little better because, hey, I know it's difficult, especially if you're a fellow single parent, trying to balance those out and not lose your marbles. I definitely see you. I definitely feel your pain. And my God, give yourself a high five and a bubble bath. But for my fellow mom and dadpreneurs, let's see how you guys can't balance work and life a little better so that both are flourishing beautifully. All right, so we got the what you can do, and let's get a third helper card. Make sure one wasn't sticking. All right. Third helper card. Okie dokie. Well, this is definitely interesting. So we've got a Knight of Wands, which is telling me that, quite honestly, your biggest issue is you're probably not communicating well enough and making sure that you occasionally delegate some of those tasks, whether to a co-parent or if you have an older child that could help around the house. Or, honestly, part of it's kind of boiling down to just you don't have any confidence in yourself. You feel like you're tripping on wires because based on your helpers, you have a sideways 4 of coins. And this is where it gets funny. So if you know anything about numbers and tarot, bear with me on this one. We're going to be getting there. But you also have an upright 8 of coins and an upright 8 of swords. So what is all this telling me? you're great where you are, but you need to step a little bit out of your comfort zone. And this is why I say you might need to start delegating a little better, because you've got some things to learn. And I imagine it's not entirely with the trade that you chose to make your profession, whether it's pet grooming or landscaping, whatever this is. You do have some things to learn there as well, I'm sure. But I have a feeling that these extra things that you need to expand your knowledge on is more along the lines of how to include your family, not necessarily in your business that you're building, but how to include all of you together and make a community in the home. Because this upright Eight of Swords is telling me that a lot of your fears are legit, absolutely legit, and absolutely real, but also absolutely outside of you. These are things that you can legitimately see and can most definitely do something about. But the thing is that you have to be willing to step a little out of your comfort zone and actually face a few of those fears, because they're not nearly as big as you think that they are, and they are absolutely able to be mastered. So my fellow mom and dadpreneurs, get some confidence back, and from the looks of things, step out of your comfort zone and start asking for a little help. Whether that's help around the house or even just help with keeping up with the files. Ask for that help. It's okay. It's scary, but you already know that. But I can tell you, it'll be very, very, very much worth it, even if it's just a little bit of help. All right. So I'll be on for about another 10 or so minutes. So if anyone pops in, definitely feel free to jump in the queue. Oh, and fun fact for my newbie tarot readers, if you happen to pop in, whether during the live or during the replay, never forget that on occasion, if you feel like, and this is something I'll be teaching in my classes, but a quick little freebie lesson for y'all. If you ever feel like your tarot deck is feeling wonky or just reading weird after doing great for so long, and you've done the cleansing, you've made sure that there's nothing lingering on there from someone else's energy, never be afraid to do what I actually do at least, I would say, semi-annually. I actually completely reset my deck. I put all the cards back in order and make sure that while I'm putting my cards back in order, that I'm thanking them for all the messages that they've given me and helping them release anything lingering. Think of it almost like a spring cleaning, or even in some cultures where they get rid of a few old things at the new year. Definitely something that I highly recommend, that even if you've never had any issues, maybe give it a shot and see how much better your readings get afterward. It gets pretty interesting. But then again, hey, it's one of the reasons why I've been practicing witchcraft for better than half my life. Never, ever a boring moment. Sometimes overstimulating. I will say sometimes overstimulating, but never boring. weather app letting me know that I should probably check it out since I've been kind of avoiding it. If, like me, you're in Ohio, take a look outside and you'll definitely understand why I've been avoiding it, especially when I don't like cold. I don't like snow. The only reason why I'm stuck here is quite literally just because I'm a sucker for my kids and they want to stay close to friends and family. All right, so we had a card that decided to be a little stubborn about joining with his friends while I was shuffling. So for whoever this vibes with, I guess this is your message. Reverse Queen of Swords. So I guess if things have been just absolutely a menace in your life to the point that you have actually closed your heart off and you are on full-blown autopilot, you have decided that you don't want to actually let yourself get angry when you should. You've decided that you're not going to let yourself even feel warmth because you know that the moment won't last. While I respect your choice, and quite honestly, I can't say that I haven't been there myself a few times. This is your wake-up call to actually address all of those reasons that you shut your heart off. This is your wake-up call to realize it's finally time to do something about it. Whether have that difficult conversation or change a situation that has been making you go into this level. This is your moment to finally say, enough. You're not a robot. And you're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to feel your feels. And you've been here in this mindset of having your heart closed off long enough. I don't know who it was that needed to hear that. And I'm sorry to have been the one that had to deliver. But it looks necessary. And it feels, honestly, you're in an icky situation. I just want to give you a hug and a cookie. But if that was you, definitely, even if you don't catch a reading with me to kind of dive deeper in how to start fixing that situation, I'm going to ask you to please do some self-reflection and get on it. Because no one deserves to live like that. No one. But I'm only going to be here for another 5 or so minutes. For those of you watching the replay, I appreciate you watching even this far. Thank you. And don't forget, I will be doing this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are in a different time zone, definitely see what your correlation is and set a reminder. But even better, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified for every moment, because, hey, there might come a day where I decide I'm going to just drop in and see what falls in my lap. That's funny. So while I'm cutting and shuffling, because keeping my hands busy keeps my brain straight, my fellow terriers tell me this isn't hilarious. Reverse Ace of Cups and upright Ace of Coins. Odds are kind of funny, especially when you're looking at the fact that There's 78 cards in an average tarot deck. I can't say probability was my strong point, but I have a feeling it's not that big. But anyway, like I said, feel definitely encouraged to subscribe and hit the bell because, as I mentioned, ADD, so spontaneity and impulse control isn't always my strong point. And for those of you that are choosing to join the Patreon after this, I appreciate you most definitely. And expect your name to be shouted out in the video that will be coming next week. But one more final card before I go, and this one is for all of you that you had a rough day. Whether it was an entire day of just monkey wrench after monkey wrench after monkey wrench, or it was a pretty good day, but you had one nasty thing just knock the energy all kinds of out of whack for you. Whatever that case may be. This is going to be what I suggest for you to let go of the energy of today so that tomorrow can be as awesome as it possibly can be. So, for those of you that just had a day of just annoyance after annoyance, or just one nasty thing that threw it out of whack. Ironically, it is a card, and if you were watching, you saw that I was shuffling the crap out of this, or if you were listening, if you couldn't see, I was shuffling the crap out of that deck and waited for a card to pop out. And it's ironically one we saw earlier. So I guess this card is definitely for everyone tonight. Reverse Mary Magdalene. Tonight, I want you to do your absolute best to look at everything that happened today. And for some of it, it'll be difficult. For some of it, probably feeling impossible. But I want you to look at everything or the one thing that happened today and acknowledge it. Just look at it and say, yep, that happened. And yes, whatever that thing is may still affect tomorrow. But for 10 minutes, I'm not going to let that bother me. For 10 minutes, I'm going to look at every beautiful thing in my life and thank it. And you can thank it in your head, or if they happen to be around, look them dead in the eye and thank them for being there, for being a bright spot in your life. Because they might have had a rough day too. And hearing that they're appreciated will make them feel worlds of amazing. So look at everything today, and for 10 minutes, just try to let it go. And find, even if it seems impossible, try and find 3 things. Just 3 things about your life that is still good. Not necessarily great, but good. For those of you that were here tonight, I appreciate you. And for those of you watching the replay, you are no less appreciated. Have a fabulous night, everyone. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for that lucky card reading. And never be afraid to catch me for a half-hour reading. Link is in the channel description. Have a great night.